Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much for joining me here at Sandra P's Gen Extra. And you have caught a live Real Housewives of Potomac. We are in season 10, episode, I believe it's 6. I know I wrote it down. Anyway, we are still at the ladies' trip in Nevis. Giselle, the OG, is hosting this trip. Giselle's hosting this trip. I think it's called Sunshine and Sext, Sext, something like that. But it's a fun episode, a fun-filled trip. There's a little bit of the usual going on, but it is okay. We will allow it. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. If you are Team Replay, thank you so much, Team Replay. I really appreciate you coming in and watching. After the lives are done, I appreciate your comments. I like to engage with you. Thank you so much for helping me with the growth of my channel. I appreciate every single subscriber. I welcome everyone. All different opinions, polite contrarians are welcome. That means we don't have to have the same opinion. We just have to express it respectfully. I'll put it that way. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for joining. And then I'll run a banner. Everything said on the video is my own personal opinion. There is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 76. Allowances made for fair use. Purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. And generally, that's if I have clips to share. I'm happy to do that. But please come in, like, subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much. Okay, so now, again, we're going to start where we left off. The ladies are still in Nevis, and the last night for them was Angel and Giselle had a little bit of an incident at dinner. And let me go back before they actually left dinner. We're going to start with Ashley. Ashley is trying to have a gotcha moment with Stacy. Ashley Bobblehead Darby, she will never stop. She doesn't have her own story going on at all. We haven't seen a lot of what she's doing now. And I'd like to see more of that if she's going to be here rather than just her trying to be this rabble rouser. But she's sitting there trying to find out from Stacy, do you know Chris Matthews? How do you know Chris Matthews? Stacy did not give her what she was looking for. Stacy tapped into that QBC training. Stacy is cool, calm, and collected. She says, I adore Chris Samuels. I'm sorry, I'm saying Chris Matthews, not him. She said, I adore Chris Samuels. I know him. He is a great father. He is a great friend. And Ashley is sitting there. How do you know him? When did the friendship start? All of this. Giselle wants to know whether or not Stacy knows Monique. Giselle, you are really interested in getting Monique over here. Stacy says she does not know Monique. She's met Chris out. They've known each other for years. Stacy says, listen, I am back with my husband. Ashley's going, I heard. So Stacy said, I'm back with my husband. There's nothing between her and Chris Samuels. And then Angel is saying, Chris is a good guy because Ashley's sitting over there. How do you know that? I know him from my homegirl, Monique. And how do you know that? Nobody said Chris Samuels wasn't a good guy. Even through the divorce that he had with Monique, I've never heard anything terrible about Chris. The only breakdown I saw between Chris and Monique, Chris was very traditional. Monique was with him since she was pretty young. I think she started out as his assistant. As Monique grew, I don't think Chris wanted to change their traditional relationship, which started out with Monique kind of handling all of the home side of things, even though, as she let us know, and Giselle, she had 4 homes. She also had a rental property business. She would redesign those properties and rent them out. She had her mommy makeover, some type of online type thing she was doing. Everybody knows she was into herbs and that sort of thing. I think she had some type line for children she was selling. So, and then she got the radio show job. So Monique was not a stay-at-home mom, and they just grew apart. So I don't know what Ashley's alluding to. I didn't hear anything about Chris Samuels not being a great guy. So I agree with Stacy and Angel. Angel lets us know that Bobby was a mentee to Chris Samuels. Chris Samuels was at Alabama, who were one of the colleges that were trying to recruit Bobby. Good morning. Welcome in, Sharon Gobble. Good to see you. She comes in and speaks to myself in the chat. Thank you. This is the latest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. We're still on Giselle's trip that she's hosting to Nevis. So Ashley's trying to set it off at this table. She is a trip. We know that Stacy is able to defend herself against the likes of Ashley, who really, Ashley's not even in Stacy's league. Stacy makes this look like easy work, and it is. So then Ashley's saying, and instead of getting in Giselle's business, we're going to get in your business, because Ashley started questioning Stacy about Chris when Stacy did her gotcha on Giselle about her having a new boyfriend, Sean Springs. Wendy wanted to know, y'all. She is so interested. So Giselle was trying to give it up a little bit. Giselle said, Giselle doesn't need saving, but Ashley jumps in. And Giselle said, basically, I'm just in the streets. And she's single. She's an empty nester. She can do that if she wants to. So Wendy was being kind of corny, because when Chris's name first came up, Wendy's like, ah! Wendy, why are you screaming? Wendy was doing a lot. She got her fork waving all in Stacy's face. I just thought the whole thing was silly. Giselle says, they get back to the room. Dinner is wrapped up. This was after the Angel situation. They go back to the room. Giselle has a cake for Wendy, which was really nice. It was a beautiful cake. It was covered in strawberries, but Wendy blew out the candles. And Giselle, this is what Giselle said. Let me know what y'all think about it. Giselle says, last year, you forced us to celebrate every single day of your birthday on that trip. Remember, they went to Charlotte. They were here about 3 or 4 days on Lake Norman. Very basic. Everybody goes to Lake Norman. She said, this year, we're going to do it one time. And Wendy says, okay. And she blew out the candles. Wendy will accept anything from Giselle. She really loves this lady. So Kay's doing like, Kay's tired. Kay's still not feeling Wendy. She wants to get out of there. But Kay, you know that Angel was upset at dinner, and you're going to go to bed and leave Angel here with these pit of vipers. But we'll see what's going to happen. And it's surprising. So Giselle says, you sleeping? You going to bed? Kay says, yeah, she's going to bed. But then in the confessional, Kay tells us the real reason. She says, Wendy running around like there's no issues. I've got Jazzy jumping in my face, and now my friend is a catfish. I'll try again tomorrow. Kierna, I didn't like that little snarky confessional. Angel is not a catfish, okay? I don't care if her pictures are filtered. I don't care what. I think Giselle was trying to do a gotcha. She got a little mean about it, and I didn't like it at all. So next, Ashley says, let's play a game of questions. Her opportunity to get messy. Sometimes Ashley makes me laugh, but she's a trip. So one of the questions she asked Wendy, because Wendy is the birthday girl, if she's ever been attracted to a woman. Wendy tells us about some stripper in DC with braces that Wendy describes the lady as really hot, and that she kind of had a crush on her. So then Tia volunteers. I wish that I'd received that question. Tia lets us know that she thinks Rachel Maddow is a good-looking woman, okay? She said she's handsome. She said that she's witty. Rachel Maddow from MSNBC. Okay, she's smart. I guess Tia likes him smart. So next they asked, I forgot what they asked Jazzy. But Wendy asked Angel a question. This was a good question. Who would you like to kill in this group? Giselle's like, no. I think Giselle knew it was going to be her. Giselle said, no. That's not a question that you can say. You know how you say F, marry, or kill? This is not even that game. So Giselle's like, that's not like a one and done. You can't ask that. But Angel's like, I'll answer it. Who would you like to kill in this group if you could do it right now? Angel says, Giselle. And the group's like, ooh. Because, you know, they all scared of Giselle. All of them. Even Ashley, even Wendy, they're scared of Giselle. And then Angel just elaborates. She said, I was so nice to you, and you called me a catfish. Everybody starts clapping. They're excited that Angel is like just telling Giselle about herself. I looked on you as a big sister, and you did that to me. And then we get a confessional from Giselle saying, I don't mind Angel wanting to kill me. I think that's fine. She said, because at least we see she has a pulse. And I knew that. The second Angel stood up for herself, they're going to respect her a little bit more. I think they looked at her kind of soft or a little punk, and they like to haze people and punk people. Giselle and Ashley. It used to be Giselle and Robin, but Ashley has taken Robin's place. Sharon has a comment that says, Stacy doesn't give Ashley what she wants, which is a reaction. I love it because it makes Ashley look stupid. It does make Ashley look stupid. That is the perfect way to handle her. Because you see that evil little grin Ashley gets on her face when she thinks she's getting over on somebody. She doesn't get to do that to Stacy. She ends up with egg on her own face and on that big forehead, as Candace would call it. I think Ashley's pretty, but Candace wouldn't let her go about that forehead, and I don't blame her. Hey, I can't type, but I wanted to speak. That's fine, Cece. Thank you so much. Cece is one of the moderators. She threw up her hand, and I appreciate it. Thank you for listening and being on here during the live. Thank you so much. So they are still kind of feeling Angel. Angel is defending herself. She's giving it to Giselle a little bit. And Wendy said something to her, and she says, "Oh, come on over to the dark side." Angel gets up, bounds around the table. So, and that's another reason I want Angel to feel comfortable, because I think she's one of those personalities that just has to be drawn out. And I think Giselle was trying to poke at her a little bit and just have a mean girl thing, kind of haze her. And Angel is now standing up for herself. They're having a good time. They're drinking, they're eating the fruit, eating the rest of the cake. They had a pretty good night. The next day, Kay is in the kitchen. She is toasting Angel. Here's to a better day. Angel's looking a little more down, y'all, this morning. Angel says, "I doubt it. I slept on the situation and I'm upset." So now she's upset about what happened with Giselle last night. And then Kay is saying, she said, "Yeah, I didn't like the way the conversation went." She said, "You are a breastfeeding mom. You got 2 babies, and yet you're still here." And that's what I thought too. I don't know like how long people breastfeed or any of that. I guess it varies. But she does, that little girl is small. She's maybe, I don't know, 16 months, 19 months. At any case, Angel is pumping on the trip. She told us that she was going to be doing that. I don't know why the picture came up like that. It looked like her in the face. I couldn't really see the body. And I don't care. Why is that Giselle's business? I just didn't like it. So Giselle comes in looking pretty in her caftan. "Good morning." She's smiling. "Good morning." Mean people are like that. They don't know they did anything. Kay and Angel just look at her. Giselle catches the mood immediately because she's no dummy. "Ooh, good morning." And so they were like, "Angel wants to talk to you." That's Kay. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying Angel wants to talk to you. Kay excuses herself immediately, so Giselle knows she's in trouble. Angel is sitting there in dark shades. And then she gets up and goes around to the kitchen to get paper towel. And Giselle said, "Well, why you need a paper towel?" She says, "Oh, are you crying?" Giselle is extremely concerned. Angel sits back down. Giselle sits near her. "Are you crying?" "Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want you to cry. I by no means," here she go line, "by no means wanted you to feel that way." "I think you did, Giselle. I think you saw this lady. She's new to the group. You want to put her in her place. You tired of her bragging about her fine husband and her beautiful little kids, and you wanted to check her." And that's just what I feel about it. I don't like the way she approached Angel. And I don't care if people like Angel or not. Angel has every right to come in the group, be new. They can haze a little, but what Giselle was doing was different. It was nasty. So that's me on my soapbox about Angel. Angel sits down, wipes her face, she is crying. I wish she had taken her shades off. Let Giselle see what she did. Giselle's saying, "I didn't want you to cry. I don't want you to feel bad. I just think you're beautiful. And the pictures that I saw, it just didn't reflect the you that I know. You're beautiful." And Angel says, "I'm so disappointed in you. I looked on you as a big sister. And for you to come at me like that in front of everybody about my looks." And then Angel says, "I used to host red carpets, and my looks were my currency. And I would think you as a mom would understand that." Y'all, this is beyond some Real Housewives stuff. She's talking to this woman as, okay, we're on a job, but Giselle, you went low. That's what she's saying to her. And Giselle gets it. I'm going to give it to Giselle. Giselle said, "I do understand. As a mom, I've had back-to-back kids." And that's true. She has Grace, Angel in the door, so she got twins. And she was first lady of a large church. They're under the spotlight. Everybody knows. So Giselle had no reason or excuse to do what she did. I think she really hurt Angel. And I'm glad Angel is telling her how she feels. And I'm glad Kay stepped out and it's just the two of them. This conversation wouldn't have gone the same way if they had an audience. If Ashley were there piping in or anybody else, it just would not have. So Angel calls her out. Giselle immediately apologized, repeatedly apologized. And she says, I get it. And then she said, "Can I hug you?" She says, she said, "Now you looking at me like, forget you garden too," which Angel was giving her a skeptical look. But I believe Giselle's apology. I believe Giselle's apology. I hope Angel takes it in and accepts it and not sleep on it again and stay mad. But hold the lady at arm's length because she can't be trusted. But, you know, she is going to be on this show. She's not going anywhere. This is Angel's first season, and she's going to have people that she can be cordial with outside from Kate. But I like the way this conversation went. Giselle, again, she apologized profusely. She said, I want to hug you. I think that was sincere too. I also think she's trying to clear it up for the viewer because she knows that she's seen as a mean girl, especially when she was Green Eyed Bandits, her and Rob the Throb Dixon. Giselle knew that the fans were getting tired of her, and that's why Robin got fired. That and the fact that she told us to kiss her A after not showing the wedding, but selling the information over there on Patreon. So Giselle wants to hug Angel. Angel's like, not ready yet. So Giselle says, okay, well, are you coming to breakfast? Angel said, I'll come to breakfast, just not right now. So Angel wants a minute to get herself together. Giselle gets in a confessional and start backpedaling like she's at the circus. She said, I didn't mean to upset her. I by no means was body shaming her. Because, you know, on this platform, Real Housewives, we love to talk about body shaming. And some of the women do that. I by no means was body shaming her. Giselle, I think you were body shaming her, but she's denying it. We saw it, but she said she was not body shaming her. It's just that the picture in the face was of her, but she didn't really see her. She said, but then that 1 minute, she's still in confessional. 1 minute, the girl wants to hug me. She hugged her last night after their little party. She said, and then now she don't. Keep the same energy. I'm not in agreement with that. You can have whatever energy you want to have. Like Angel said, she slept on it and now she feels a different way. But I know she was humiliated at that table, and Giselle should realize that. Not everybody is just on their job. This was a serious situation for her. And you don't know what this lady has gone through to try to get her body back. She's curvy. She's voluptuous. Her figure is going to change. And then Angel does a confessional. And in Angel's confessional, she says, Giselle was trying to be mean. She appreciates her apology. She said she was trying to talk about her body. My husband likes it. See, Angel, we need this from you in real time. She said, my husband likes it, and at least I have a husband. Ooh. Because I think that's a lot of what Giselle goes through. Mama Bees, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in, Mama Bees. I'm going to read some comments. Here's Sharon Gobble. I want Angel to feel comfortable too, but it's just something about her that's not quite right. Just Sharon, you think she's trying to fake the funk? Maybe she's trying to show something that she's not, show a side of her that's not really her, because that's not going to work. We see what happened to Portia Me over there on Atlanta. Sharon saying Giselle is a mean girl. That's not going to change. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change either. But she can't keep chasing these new people off the show because we do need new blood. They are 10 seasons in. I'm tired of looking at Ashley, and Ashley hasn't been here all 10 seasons. I don't expect Andy and those guys over there at Bravo to make a change with Giselle because they love her and she is the face of the platform, and we don't have Grand Dame at least through the first half of the season. So I don't see that change coming. Hey, Sandra P. Chatting Moms. Hey, Mama Bees, one of my moderators. Thank you so much for coming in. Everyone speaking to Mama Bees. Thank you so much for coming in. So Angel is having her little shady confessional moment. But as she'll learn, this is only her first season, but we need more than just a confessional moment. I want her to go back and forth in the moment instead of sitting there plain face or then start crying. And then Kay can't defend her either because Kay needs to keep her own energy to defend herself against Wendy or whoever else. Jazzy comes at Kay. So Giselle heads on out to breakfast and she tells the group, she said, can I pull Kay away for a minute? Kay steps away for a minute. And she said, Angel was kind of crying a lot. Here's Stacey. Excuse me, what are y'all talking about? What's going on over there? Stacey, you're surrounded by other ladies. Talk to them. But I'm with Stacey. I'm sure they all wanted to know. Giselle says, what I'm telling her is that Angel was upset about the conversation last night. And Kay says, yeah, the conversation last night did upset her. It upset me. Now, the ladies, we have them talking. Tia's trying to bust in talking about, I didn't think that it was right for Kay to leave Wendy's birthday celebration. And Giselle's back with the group. She said, well, I'm the host and I decided, yeah, if she's tired, it was okay for her to leave the celebration. And I feel like Kiana's energy was down. It wasn't going to be good at the celebration. And then the group agreed. We got a different Angel. When Kiana left, we got a different Angel. And they did. Angel kind of let her guard down, even though she was upset about Giselle earlier. She was able to laugh. They were able to joke. They had their little game. So things worked out. Sharon saying Giselle's not going anywhere, but they definitely don't need Ashley. She needs to go. I agree. I think her storyline has run out. This never-ending divorce has finally occurred. These bad little boys, they're over there. She's trying to half raise them. Let me not say that about Ashley. But I'm not interested in whatever she has going on in her life. We've seen her working out and then trying to throw little digs at the newer housewives. So the group starts talking about Kay. They said that they got a better Angel without Kay. So we'll see what's going to go on with that more later. Angel walks up. She's feeling better. She's got her leopard print on. Come on, Angel. She sits down in her leopard print. The group asks her, is she okay? Is everything okay? Of course, Giselle had told him she'd been crying. She says, yeah, I'm okay now. I spoke to Bobby. He was ready to hop a flight about me. He don't play about me. We get a flashback. Now, I complimented Bobby that he's not one of the traditional house husbands. He's not going to be going back and forth with the women. But Bobby, I don't know what Angel told him. Production, we need to see what she told him. He was a little mad. He said, here she is, almost 60 years old. Let's see some of her old pictures. We'll allow that, Bobby, because you're not in Giselle's face going at her, so she can say you made her uncomfortable. But he's trying to speak positivity into his wife, kind of by dragging Giselle. Now, Giselle, she is in her 50s. I think we're the same age. So she's 54. So she's closer to 50 than 60, but you're right, Bobby. She's right there. She's pushing it. And I'm sure Giselle has unflattering pictures out there as well. So now we get Wendy. Wendy's claiming Kiana's action is showing that she was never my real friend. Wendy, get off this Kiana train. I'm sick of it. And then Wendy is telling the rest of the group, there's a consistent dark cloud when it comes to the two of them. Angel just got here. We are on episode 6. What consistent dark cloud? Now, Kiana's been trying to box with y'all for 2 seasons. This is her sophomore season. So I don't know, Kiana. The people are saying that you're too argumentative. You're too combative. You're too aggressive. So I don't know. I think Kiana feels like she's defending herself. And I think she feels in direct competition with Jazzy, which she's no dummy. I think she might be right. I think they like to bring in like the newer housewives that are kind of filming to see where they fit in and then who might stay and who might go, who might be demoted a little bit. So I think Kiana is right to be a little concerned, but I don't like this energy toward Jazzy. I feel like they were closer than that. So Wendy's saying there's a dark cloud when the two of them enter. I think Wendy's doing too much. In this episode, we're going to see a little more from Wendy. I think that dark cloud is over that house in Casper County, Wendy. It's so crazy watching this and then knowing what's coming up for Wendy. Because you look at her clothes, her jewelry, her everything. The confessionals, that red look, perfect. But I've always wondered, does she still have that dress? Which one did she take back? What about the jewelry? I'm not used to watching the show like that. I'm really not. Sharon says, although Bobby was right, she's laughing, but Angel has to fight her own battles. She does. He's not, oh, Lord, my lawn man is here. Excuse me, y'all. I hope this is not going to be too loud. He'll only be in the front for like 30 seconds. So Bobby was right. But let's hope he's not going to sit up and argue with the women. And then Wendy, I don't understand why Wendy thinks that Angel is being a dark cloud just because she's not going to sit up and kiki with Giselle after being verbally, not assaulted, but made fun of. Because Wendy, we watched her forgive Mia after being assaulted. She got a liquor thrown in her face, and then Mia tried to hit her with a clutch first. And Wendy was still trying to be friends with that group of ladies. So then confessional Giselle says they are going to Hamilton House, as in Alexander Hamilton. He was born in Nevis, as we know, or if you've seen the play Hamilton. He was born in Nevis. He's the creator of our financial system. Giselle says, because I'm smart, okay? And that's the making of a good trip. You have a little bit of educational, they have a little bit of water sports, a little bit of fun, dinner, cake cutting, parties, education. The sprinter that picks them up has a singing guy named Daniel. He's singing this cute little song about Nevis. I was born on Nevis. He teaches the ladies a few parts of the chorus and they blend in. Dear Yvette, welcome in. Thank you for catching a live. I appreciate it. Thank you. So they're singing this little song. We get Wendy in a confessional saying that she want to hear Daniel singing Roberta Flack, not Ashley. Okay, Wendy, maybe that's why Ashley was shading her. But Ashley didn't know Wendy had talked about her singing. Well, she did. I think Wendy asked Ashley if she wanted to do an internship with Daniel. You know, Ashley had a recent performance and she was saying she likes to sing melodies, not commit felonies. So maybe that's why she's getting on Wendy. Wendy's making fun of her singing. Ashley, it's not just Wendy. None of us think you can sing. She was on the news program trying to give a tribute to Roberta Flack, singing Killing Me Softly. And one thing about Ashley, she was serious too, because it looked like a joke. So Alexander Hamilton, they're at the Hamilton house. They talk about his history. The tour guide, I forgot her name, Camilla, something like that. She was telling them about how he created the financial system, and then there was a feud with Aaron Burr used to be his best friend. Somehow they fell out. He was challenged to a duel and killed during a duel. Wendy, as always, is taking it too far, saying, yeah, because you never know what your friend is really think of you. You might have a friend and then they might turn around and stab you in your back, shoot you in the heart. Sharon is saying what I'm thinking. Wendy is getting insufferable at this point. Yeah, it's like she's acting too much. She's doing a lot. She really is. So Kay catches the stray. She says in a confessional, Wendy needs to either say what she's going to say or just shut up. Stop being passive aggressive. So I had to agree with Kierna on that. She said, speak on it. They continue to talk about Alexander Hamilton. There was a terrible storm on Nevis. He wrote a letter. It ended up being published in the paper in the U.S., and he ended up getting a scholarship to attend school in New York. They're asking something about the ethnicity of either Alexander Hamilton or the guide. I'm not sure. I think they were talking about Alexander Hamilton. I'm not sure. Giselle, that's not a conversation you want to have. You and Robin had 3 fits when they found out you were 30% white woman, or Robin might have been 60% white woman. She was mad as heck. What's wrong with that, Robin? Rob Dixon. So they asked Angel how she's feeling again. Angel's still feeling fine. Stop asking this lady how she's feeling. So Jazzy tries to pull Tia into the conversation. Tia is saying, well, I agreed with what Giselle said, but if I had a friend, I would want them to pull me aside and say, you're heavily filtered. Jazzy immediately says, yes, your pictures are heavily filtered. Tia says, they are heavily? Jazzy says, yes, heavily. So I thought that was funny. Dear Yvette says, Wendy is just impossible to deal with. She thinks she's smarter than a 10th grader. Exactly. Not smarter than a 5th grader, honey. Smarter than the 10th grader. And I guess she is. 4 degrees, 4 degrees, 4 degrees. But you know what? She doesn't have her street degree. If my sister's watching, she's going to laugh. We have a cousin that said, I got a street degree. And I don't know how education came up, but she declared, honey, and it's true, she does. I got a street degree. So, Dr. Wendy, you need a street degree. Add to those 4 degrees. I heard Eddie's got 4 too. 8 degrees between them and all these problems. So Tia is clarifying that she thought the same as Giselle did about the filters, but she wouldn't have said it in front of Angel and everybody and kind of hurt Angel feeling. Jazzy is now saying that Angel was bubbly and happy last night without Kierna, but now she seems to be annoyed again. So I think what Angel said is true. She slept on it and then she probably thought more about it. You know how you have those after the fact moments where you go, I should have said this and I should have said that and I could have said that. I think Angel had a long night sleeping and she kind of thought of what she should have said to Giselle, because they flashed back when Giselle was doing all that and she just had this self-satisfied look on her face. And then when the ladies were doing all that laughing, Wendy was laughing the loudest. And they used to treat Wendy like a dog. Giselle brought Wendy and all the ladies to her house, didn't want Wendy to use her bathroom. Karen used to slink like Wendy. And again, the liquor assault. But Wendy is, of course, now she's friends with the ladies. You can't remind her of any of that. So Angel and Kay are talking. Kay again is telling us that she cannot be fake. We know Kierna, but traveling with a group of ladies and then being cordial to all of them instead of snapping the one's head off that you don't like is not being fake. It's being an adult. So we get a confessional with Jazzy. I didn't like this confession. I feel like Jazzy's really trying to do a lot. She says, I was convinced it was blown over and now here the situation is again. Did you catfish your personality too? No, Jazzy, she didn't catfish her personality. She might be moody. I don't know. I don't care for overly moody people, but I don't think she's a catfish in face or personality. I think she's just getting her legs up under her on a new job around a new group of ladies. So what I feel about it is that you can't offend someone intentionally, as Giselle did, because I feel like she thought about that. She had the picture ready to pull up. She was kind of playing to the crowd as to how it would look. And she was kind of surprised that Angel took it to heart, didn't really fight back in the moment, and got so upset. So I'm tired of people telling her to get over it. Now, I don't want it to drag on all season, Angel, but you can still check Giselle when you need to. Wendy has come up with this silly name for the girls in her house. She is the curling hair girls or something like that. Giselle and Ashley are calling themselves the Pussy Pink Palace. Why, Ashley? Ashley's saying it's because we're the fun girls. Even though I go to the house with the other girls to have more fun, we're the fun girls. So then we got Wendy bringing up the same situation again that happened as far as Giselle being asked about Sean Springs. Wendy's really trying to get to know Giselle. So Ashley jumps in again and brings up that Stacy is a liar. Wendy's saying, let's stay on this topic so we can hear more about Giselle and Mr. Sean Springs. So Giselle figured, okay, I'm going to open up a little bit. So Wendy says she had a few questions. Stacy says she wants to know, oh, before they do that, they get this lying conversation. And Stacy's like, well, everybody lies. You be lying too. And she says, Giselle be lying. And then somebody piped up and said, well, Giselle will do a lie of omission. A lie of omission is still a lie. If you don't give all information, that's still a lie. And then Giselle does other lies as well. She lied on Chris Baskin. He wasn't trying to get with her as a sneaky link. That was a lie. And then she lied on the paternity of Chris and Monique Samuel's baby. It wasn't the trainers. That little boy looked just like Chris. So Giselle is sitting there, not really answering. She's smiling though. I think that Wendy's gonna get a little bit out of her, as we'll see. Wendy brings the conversation back to Giselle and says, I'm gonna be the lead investigator. Wendy, keep that in mind because a lot of people are gonna be the lead investigator on you. So Giselle's saying that my last conversation with my dad, we met her dad over the seasons, also during that trip that she hosted to New Orleans where we watched him do the second line. Giselle has lost her dad. She said he told her that she should find a man that is as comfortable to her like a comfortable pair of shoes. So now Wendy wants to know if Giselle has had sex with Sean yet. Sharon, you're right. Wendy is insufferable. What is wrong with you, Wendy? In front of all these ladies, if this were your friend, why would you put her on the spot like that? It's none of your business. Wendy, Giselle says, I'm not answering, and I don't blame her. She says, well, answer this one question and I'll kind of know where you stand if you tell me the truth about that. So Giselle's listening to the question. Wendy wants to know, has Sean met Giselle's daughters? We know how important Giselle's daughters are to her. So Giselle says she's not going to answer any more questions. We get a confessional with Giselle, and she tells the audience that he's met Grace. So Grace is the older one. He has not met the cute Jamal Bryant looking ones, Angel and Adore. Angel Adore be turning Giselle every which way but loose, and she loves it. So she's saving them for them. She couldn't bring Sean over there yet. And I like what Giselle did. Normalize shutting down intrusive conversations. Because, Wendy, where were you going with this? They have another conversation. Actually, I don't know where. It's just a note in here. I don't know where the conversation was at. But Wendy, I think it was right here. Wendy's claiming, Giselle, I just want to say this. I can call her a friend. She looked like she's getting ready to get choked up, y'all. I can call Wendy a friend. Kendall's like, ooh, okay. Because it was kind of weird. So I call her a friend. Giselle protects her heart. Ashley was looking like she wanted to laugh. Wendy, I didn't know you wanted to be. I said, Wendy, why are you crying? This is not your friend. So confessional Giselle says, okay, I guess Wendy and I are friends. Giselle, you lying. I heard they got together with some of the people at Bravo and that they were all made to call kind of a truce so we could stand to watch them. Okay, I'm going to read some. 4 degrees and a thief, allegedly. See, Sharon's bringing up what people think when we look at Wendy. This is a trip. Okay, we said Wendy was just impossible. Yes, my sister is the same way. She's smart but dumb when it comes to the streets. Yeah, you can't discount that street degree, and you can't pay for it. There's different things you go through, and that's how you get it. But she got these 4 degrees, and now her and Eddie gonna pay dearly, allegedly. We'll see what happens. We laugh. Everybody's laughing. We're laughing about that street degree. Welcome in, Angela. Angela A is my mod, my friend. She said hello to me, the other mods, and the chat. Good to see you in the live. This is Real Housewives of Potomac. The ladies are still down in Nevis. And Giselle is the host, but it's a pretty good trip. She's only offended one of the guests so far. So they get to Angel. Angel is saying, Bobby sent, she said, he dropped a cool 5,000. Flex, Angel, let him know what your fine husband did for you. So he is loving on Angel. Sent her $5,000 to go shopping with. She said that she's going to look at some art. And we do know their homes are beautifully decorated. They have an architectural digest displayed home out in Denver that they still own. And they're looking for something in Potomac. So then we get a confessional with Giselle with her old stripes back on, jealous and bitter toward a younger woman. She says, why did Bobby send you $5,000? Something Giselle said. I just said Giselle's mad. Oh, she says, you keep saying Bobby this, Bobby that. We like to talk about ourselves. That's why we bad itches. Giselle, that wasn't good. Look, I would have asked him to cut that confessional out. So Giselle, I don't know why that offends you, just because Bobby hypes her up. He's supposed to. That's his wife. So then they asked Tia how she met Rob. Tia tells us that she was trying on, I think she said some type of jacket, and she heard this American accent say, yeah, get that. That looks good on you. So that was Rob from the south side of Chicago. They started dating. Wendy wants to know if they have trouble just being from different cultures, because Nigerians want their children to marry other Nigerians. I can understand that. And we know that Wendy and Eddie, they're both Nigerian, but allegedly a different tribe. I think Eddie's family might think they're better than Wendy and them. And if Wendy is a scammer like that, allegedly, in my opinion, some people, including the insurance company, think they're probably going to think that Wendy kind of led Eddie down a bad road. So I don't know. I don't know who is responsible yet. I guess we'll find out as time goes on. So they're talking about cultural differences. Rob and Tia are getting together, okay, as they've had the children. Of course, their children are full out American. There's a little difference in how they're being raised. But I don't know if she's trying to make it like the Nigerian side of her. The children are a lot more respectful, but we see the kids calling her bro and stuff. So I don't know. So Giselle's, okay, ladies, it's time to wrap it up. So Giselle's really running this trip. She got an itinerary in her head, which is okay. She's keeping them on track. So they have a party bus with a pole on it. They're joking. They egg Wendy on. Wendy doing this heavy walk around the pole. Wendy, come on. I know you got more rhythm than that, because she was the one making fun of Stacey's twerking. Giselle claims they are partying it up for Jazzy's upcoming nuptials. And then Wendy in a confessional, y'all, they're still talking about this $5,000 that Bobby dropped on Angel. Why are you so upset? Wendy says, $5,000, Angel, what are you going to spend $5,000 on at the flea market? The t-shirts cost $12.35. Come on. And production zooms in on Wendy as she does a slow eye roll. So Angel, watch your pocketbook. Dr. Wendy's upset about that $5,000. She could have put that on a judgment, allegedly, and in my opinion. Wendy, at least I'm not showing y'all's mugshots anymore. I think that went a little too far. So they get to the flea market, and the host tells us that everything there is locally sourced, which I love. I love shopping at places like that. So they're handmade, or there's something that the people themselves has something to do with, and that's where they're going to shop. Angel texts Bobby, sex. Bobby texts right back, you want some? So they're all laughing. Stacey was like, I wonder what Tiamo would say if I text that to him. So Stacey takes this goofy picture. Stacey's pretty, but the picture was goofy. She's like, and then she puts in sex and sends it to Tiamo. Tiamo answers right back, I think you have the wrong number. The ladies fall out laughing. They fall out laughing. Wendy asked for Jazzy. Jazzy, will you take my stuff and go outside? Y'all, that $5,000 I made Wendy sick. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think Dr. Wendy was sick. I don't. I think maybe Happy Eddie called her with news of their situation. Different things are going on. Maybe she got that email about get this payment up to $423,000. I don't know, but I just didn't buy that she was sick. I don't. So Jazzy said, sure. Jazzy's concerned. She takes Wendy's stuff and go outside. Did her credit card swipe? Jazzy, did you end up paying for this stuff? So Wendy outside sitting on the set. She not feeling good. Ashley comes running outside and tells Giselle, Angel sent Bobby a text and Bobby said this. Stacy tried to send Tiamo a text and he didn't even know who it was. So they're cackling. Stacy came right outside and said, stop talking about me. Get them, Stacy. They're a mess. So Giselle goes outside to check on Wendy. Oh, Wendy, are you okay? She's not okay, Giselle. Wendy got a lot on her mind. So she said, Wendy, either go back into the store in the AC or get on the van. Wendy's sitting there. So Giselle asked production, I need Wendy to get in the van. I need her to get into the air-conditioned van. So by the time they go back to, one more thing happened. When Angel sent Bobby a picture, Ashley piped up and said, show him the girls. Because Angel got the girls out. And Angel just gave her one of them looks, and Ashley like, oh, am I doing too much? Yes, Ashley, you're doing too much. This lady don't need no advice from you. Look at who you were married to. She doesn't need any advice on you on how to keep her husband or keep him happy. You see how fast Bobby answered that text. So they get back to the different little villas that they're staying in. Wendy's in the bed, y'all. She's not feeling good at all. So in a confessional, Ashley claims Stacy's in a relationship by herself. If she doesn't know it, she knows it now. Stacy is probably going to get remarried to that man. So I don't know why Ashley is so concerned about what Stacy's doing. Stacy got these ladies pressed. Dear Yvette, you thought the same way? You don't think she was sick? I don't know. Maybe it's just Wendy's good looking and she's always moisturized and looking good. I don't know what looking sick looks like, but I don't think it was Wendy. Because we just had an episode of Salt Lake City. Now, Lisa on that yacht, Angie K. Angie K was sick. Sharon Gabo thinks it too, y'all. It's a consensus. I feel the same way. Wendy was sick. Okay. Yeah, I think Wendy got a lot on her mind. We don't know what kind of text she got from Eddie, but it didn't have nothing to do with are you ready for sex? Or it wasn't nothing like that. Them two were talking about something else. I hate to see it because they were probably one of my top 2 Real Housewives franchise favorite couples. Them and then Gertie and Russ down in Miami. Gertie and Russ down in Miami, please don't do nothing crazy or get accused of anything. I can't take it. So Stacy checks Ashley and Giselle for talking about her. Oh, they didn't go back to the room yet. They're playing a steel drum. Wendy's sitting out there. She's still sick. She's looking beautiful, but she says she's not well. She makes her way up the steps where the ladies they're having fun. They're playing the steel drums. The guy's teaching them. She's wearing a 2-piece red short set. Come on, Wendy. She goes up there. I may be sick, but I'm going to beat this drum at least one time. So she beats the drum one time for the one time. Mama 59 works. Thank you. I'm late, but I'm live successfully. Good Monday, Sandra P. and the chat. Sharon Gabo, she's laughing. Yeah, this is funny. So none of us believe that Wendy's sick. That's the first thing I thought. I thought Wendy putting on. So they have fun playing the drums. I have to commend Giselle on this trip. They're doing a lot of different things. They've had their party. They've had the cake. They went to the Hamilton house. Now they're playing the steel drums. So in the confessional, Wendy says she's going to beat the drum at least one time. We have Stacy. And, they go back to the villa. They're going to have dinner in the villa. But, no, they're not. I'll tell you a minute about dinner. Stacy and Giselle come in. Stacy's holding a tray. They bring Wendy ginger ale, Gatorade, and goldfish. Okay, now, y'all, what about this theory that we had that she is not sick? Giselle said, are you wearing the clothes on you were going to go out in? Wendy's in a beautiful lavender. I can't tell if it's a short set or dress or what it is. She's laying in the bed. She got all her jewelry on and all. She said, oh, you guys, thank you. You brought me some treats. You brought me ginger ale and goldfish. And it looked like something else they brought her. Gatorade. So confessional Giselle tells us, of course, I'll check on the girls. This is my trip. Production says, do you think that things would be going better between Wendy and Kierna if Wendy had checked on Kierna on the last trip? The last trip to Charlotte, remember, Kierna got upset and ran out. But I think Wendy did check on her. So production's being messy and Giselle peeps it. She says, next question, let's move on. That's right, Giselle. Production, we don't need you to make mischief. We got the ladies for that. And they're getting paid to do it, okay? So the ladies go to a place called Sunshine's for dinner. So they did leave Wendy in the villa. I just think she didn't want to go out, y'all. I don't think she felt, I don't know if she felt well or not, but I think she got a lot on her mind. I'll give that to her. The lady said they smell weed, and then they said, and then you smell food, kind of like barbecue. So Ashley's joking, oh, weed barbecue. They're at a place called Sunshine Bar and Grill. The owner comes out. He brings them a tray of drinks called Killer Bees. They were like, oh, we had these Killer Bees last night. We get Kierna in the confessional saying, what's worse than a bee? I think I'm having a killer wasp, because they said the drinks really have a kick. They flash back to the night before. They show Dr. Wendy, y'all, drinking a bunch of Killer Bees. So Wendy, maybe are you hungover? Did it kick in? I don't know. Because again, none of us think you're sick. Sharon Godbolt says, Airhead Ashley's job on the show is to always have a beer in her hand and start mess. She did. They're drinking Killer Bees, but you know she got that. What's that? One of those drinks she drank. Not even a Heineken, something lower class. Let me not name a beer because then people be upset. Corona. Does Ashley drink Coronas? Something. Beer out the bottle. Dear Vet says, when you get the surgeries, you have to stay hydrated. Yeah, that's true. Wendy has had a lot done, and we don't know what the time frame is. Sharon Gabo is laughing. I am as well. Dr. Wendy, can you imagine if she had just not let Karen and Giselle and Robin and Mia get to her head and just stand on that? Yes, I have 4 degrees and a husband that loves me and these 3 beautiful children, and just live your life, Wendy. Wendy was making money. I'm just upset. Oh, Corona. It is Corona. Straight out the bottle. Sheila taught her well. She don't even pour it into a glass. She might open it with her teeth and start drinking. Ashley's not ladylike at all. So they are ordering their food. Now, I thought it was nice. Stacy asked about Wendy. Do you think Wendy will want anything? I wonder what she's going to eat. And somebody said, oh, she'll find something to eat. Y'all could have sent her some chicken broth or something. So Angel, they're all sitting there at the table. They're having the Killer Bees. And Angel said, am I on the menu tonight? And gives a look. Angel, that's a little confrontational. And then Giselle looks back at her and says, I don't know. It's early night. It's an early night yet, or something like that. Meaning, I didn't start on you yet, but I could. Angel said, that's all right. I'm ready for y'all tonight. So Angel, y'all like to say, keep that same energy. I hope she does. So, oh, Giselle says the night is young. That's what she said. So she might start hazing her again. Then Giselle starts right away. She don't go to Angel. This time she goes to Kiana. Kiana, I want you to know that Wendy was upset that you didn't stay for her birthday cake. So Kiana's like, well, I'm glad to know that Wendy was upset because she acts so nonchalant. I don't know what bothers her or not. Wendy is like that. She always acts like she don't care, but she cares. She cares too much. That may be why she's in the predicament she's in. So Kay brought up that Angel, no, that was not Kay, that was Jazzy. They said, well, Kay, you going to bed early kind of worked out for everybody because we were getting to know Angel within the group. She was having so much fun. We were all partying. And then Jazzy piped up and said, well, Angel said she didn't have a good time. All the ladies are surprised. Angel, what do you mean? You didn't have a good time? Angel said, no, I wasn't having a good time. I was annoyed. They flash back. Production is always checking Angel. Production shows us Angel just laughing and kikiing and bounding around the table with her little flower dress on and hugging Giselle and hugging Wendy. But she's back at this table saying, I didn't have a good time. I was annoyed. So, okay, she says she's annoyed. We'll let her do that. So Kay in a confessional is saying, I had adored Jazzy until I found out that Jazzy was saying that I'm a snake. So I don't know what happened between Kiana and Jazzy. I think it has more to do with the show. I think they feel like they kind of a mirror image of each other. So maybe they're competing for the same job. I don't know, but I thought they would have been a cute little duo together. Then they brought Angel in. She's another young, fun girl. So I don't know what's going on between them. So then Jazzy says, well, I was upset that you were spilling information that I told you in confidence because Kay said that she didn't like the fact that Jazzy went back and told Wendy that Kay was talking about her. And then Jazzy said, I can't even respond. If I don't know what you say I said, how can I respond? Jazzy is saying that Kay threw out the fact that Darius had 2 kids on her, and it wasn't true. And Jazzy said, well, just tell me what it was then. He had 1 kid. The lady said, oh, 1 kid. Giselle's telling somebody, stay out of it. You know, Giselle don't want to talk about nobody having outside kids. Because we heard that so-and-so had outside kids with the first 3 pews. So Giselle, she shut that conversation down. So Jazzy and Kay kind of getting into it a little bit. We see a confessional with production asking, how upset would Wendy be? They're asking Jazzy, how upset would Wendy be on a scale of 1 to 5 if she knew that Kay was still talking about her and they were trying to be friends? Production is so messy. Wendy would be an 8.5. Okay. So then, y'all, that was the end of the episode. We see coming up, they're still going to be in Nevis. Angel is going to call somebody a stringy hair piece of trash. That could be anybody, honestly. So we want to know, who is Angel talking about, y'all? And Dr. Wendy calls her out and says, who are you talking about? Angel, are you going to tell us? You big and bad now. You said you're ready for him. I got to know. Cowfoot soup. David, they could have sent her something. Honestly, they have really good soups in the Caribbean. And it doesn't seem to make sense because it is hot down there, but you can get soup anytime, and it's good soup. Why would she lie when they had receipts? Mama 59 works, it doesn't matter. Sometimes they deny the receipts with everything in them. Because it was all over the blogs and everywhere else that Darius had these 2 kids. Also, they showed a flashback of when Jazzy tried to explain it didn't make any sense. Oh, and then we see in the preview, Jazzy is saying, 9 weeks before my wedding. She's yelling at, appears to be Tia. I don't know. So, y'all, this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess. We're going to see an activated Angel name call. Now, Angel, you can't cry about somebody saying a filtered picture. You're going to call a woman a stringy hair piece of trash? Hot piece of trash, I think she said. So that's even worse. Y'all, this was a pretty good episode. I have to give it an 8 for their location. We got to see everybody. We saw Giselle apologize. I don't think I ever thought I would see that. Ashley kind of shut down again. Ashley, all of those theatrics are not working. Tia didn't do a lot, but I still like Tia. We're getting to know Tia. Angel, I'm still giving her grace. And it's funny because Tia and Angel are both new, but I feel a little more protective over Angel. I don't know why. I think she is letting Kierna be too much of an influence on her. I don't want to see that. I want to see her stand on her own. But this is pretty good. You give it an 8 too? Okay, this is a solid B for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for the live review of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 6. And if you're on Team Replay, press the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Bye, everybody.